Hear the contents. If he could hear the contents, then it was broken and all was lost. If he could hear the contents, then thousands would die, all because of him. But nothing rattled in the case, and he let out a deep sigh and again glanced around. He needed to get off this street, cut down an alley, find a subway, get out of this city. Anything. He studied the black doorways. He studied the stairs along the sidewalks going down into more blackness. He studied the sidewalk and street stretching in front of him. Then he saw it. Straight ahead loomed a black slot between two stately old apartment buildings. An alley. That would work. He would cut down it to 93rd and hide across the street to see if anyone followed him. If they did, they would have to come out of the alley, and he would see them. If no one followed him through the alley, he would circle around and go back to the little hotel he had passed off 90th Street. Then, after a night's sleep, he might be able to figure out what to do. He started walking again, slowly, controlled. Taking shallow breaths, he listened for any other movement on the street. He had a plan now, and the sanity of the plan helped clear his mind. At the face of the alley, he kept going, pretending he was going to pass the corridor. Then, at the last instant, he ducked to the right and down the deserted alleyway. He stopped in the first shadow and listened, his heart pounding in his ears, his breath sending white clouds of mist into the air around him. No one seemed to be following him, but he didn't want to let himself believe that. He couldn't be that lucky, not after what he had done. He'd get to the next street and hide and watch, just to make sure. He turned and moved quickly down the alley, using only the glow from a few windows and the distant streetlights to guide him through the garbage cans and dumpsters. The place smelled of rotten cabbage and a dead animal. The rain brought out the smells on the pavement, accentuated them. They choked him slightly. After 100 steps, he looked up into the looming face of a dark brick wall. The alley was a dead end. A building sat there almost tauntingly, its blank brick wall disappearing into the black night. He clutched the briefcase to his chest and breathed quickly, glancing up, down, sideways, hoping against hope for a way out of the alley. He couldn't have let himself get trapped like this. It wasn't possible. There had to be a way out. Any way at all. But there was nothing but a few locked doors, brick walls, and garbage. "Oh no," he said softly to himself, his heart feeling like it might explode at any moment. He was trapped again. He had to get back to the street. He was halfway to the opening of the alley when two men stepped into the light from the street and closed off his escape. He could see that they were wearing business suits, open raincoats, and fedoras, but he couldn't see their faces, and that dug at his mind like nothing else could. Their presence filled the alley like the worst nightmare from his childhood, the nightmare of his dead father standing in his bedroom door, the hall light behind him, his face totally dark. Now 2 men blocked his path, and he couldn't see their faces no matter how hard he looked. Inside him, something snapped, and he panicked, his mind screaming that he had to escape at all costs. His gaze darted at every door, every opening of the alley, but there was no escape except right through the 2 men. They stood watching him, silent, ominous. If there was no escape, then he would face his fear. He would face his dead father and the nightmares that filled his life after the man died. He would face them all right now. He spotted a short length of lead pipe and quickly picked it up, hardly noticing the cold, wet feel of it in his hand. The pipe gave him strength. He could feel the extra courage coursing up his arm and through his system. He had never won with the nightmares of his dead father standing in his bedroom door. His doctors, his mother, no one could stop the vision that had haunted him. The visions had beat him as a kid, but this time he would win. With the briefcase clutched as tightly as he could hold it in his left hand and the pipe in the other, he started forward, his stride firm, his gaze focused on the space between them and the light and seeming safety of the street beyond. The man on the doctor's right extended a hand like a ghost pointing at a grave. A low, powerful voice echoed down the closed alley. "Give us the briefcase, Dr. Cattrall. Give us the briefcase, and no one gets hurt." The doctor paid no attention.